Best-selling author Gretchen Rubin, and talk about some of the tips that you've got for us on how we can start living happier today. The first one you said is to practice non-random acts of kindness. What does that mean?
Well, so people talk about random acts of kindness, which is things like paying for somebody else's coffee or paying for their toll. But I think it's more of a happiness booster for you and for other people if it's non-random. So, like, do a chore for somebody, like for your spouse, that they would usually have to do themselves. Or if you see somebody who's struggling because they're obviously are lost, say, hey, do you want me to help you figure out where you're going? Pick up someone else's trash. Do something that's not random. Because I think sometimes with random acts of kindness, people are just sort of puzzled. They're like, what's going on here? I don't really understand it. Like people who hand out random hugs. I'm like, I don't want to be hugged by a stranger. I don't know what's going on.
But
kind. Be non-random, and then people understand what you're doing.
Okay, the second thing you say is to get rid of unnecessary things, which we touched on a little bit.
Yes, but there's so many things like they don't work. Like, why do I have that broken umbrella for 2 years? Like, get rid of the broken umbrella. It's okay to get rid of a toaster that doesn't work. Like, don't feel like
there's a guilt involved or something,
it weighs
right?
on your conscience.
Yeah.
Or like those unfinished projects. One of my resolutions is to abandon a project. Like, if you're not really going to ever do yoga again, give the yoga mat to somebody who's going to use it. If you're not really going to finish that needlepoint project, don't hang on to it because it just makes you feel bad.
There is a neglected yoga mat under my living room couch, I swear.
And it must make you feel better too.
It makes you feel guilty though, because it's like an unfinished thing. It's unresolved, and so if you get rid of it, you have more room and also more room in your mind.
So you know what? Physical space and brain space are connected.
Right. Absolutely,
so
uncannily connected.
You also say to go on random adventures with your kids and your family. How come? I love this idea, but why do you say to do that?
Well, like the thing about we all have a fantasy of like, we're going to make a big family trip, and you can only do that so many times, but you can look for ways to make everyday life feel more special. So something like, instead of like buying a container of ice cream and having it in the freezer, make it into a little adventure. Like, go off and really have it be something that everybody enjoys, and which is like a little thing. My sister always takes her family out for frozen yogurt. They don't buy it, but then they make a little treat out of going to get it. Or like one thing we do is celebrate holiday breakfast. So for something like St. Patrick's Day, we just make the breakfast a little special. I dyed the scrambled eggs green or something like that. And so it's a way to make ordinary days a little bit more special, and that helps you remember how happy you are just to have your ordinary day.
That's so sweet.
Doubt.
Now, like we mentioned, you're on the cover of Live Happy, and the focus is hope.
Hope.
On the cover. So how does hope play into happiness?
One of the things is, we can't always be happy. Sometimes it's not even appropriate to be happy, but we can always hope to be happier or hope to make things better. And I think in our everyday lives, if we look for ways to improve ourselves, ask more of ourselves, fix things, help other people, help institutions do a better job, when we can see the possibility for growth, that's a huge engine of happiness, because that feeling of growth, it gives you energy. Sometimes even when you feel like you're overwhelmed and you can't take on anything else, asking more of yourself can give you the energy that you need. Counterintuitively, you would think that doing more would give you energy, but sometimes it's like if you volunteer, you're saying to yourself, I have time for my life to reflect what's really important for me, and then you feel like your life reflects your values, and then you're happier. And so you might feel like, well, I don't have time to crowd one more thing in, but adding that thing might make you feel like your life is really happier and is a better reflection of what's actually important to you.
Wow.
I understand you're working on a follow-up to Happier at Home called Before and After. Tell us a little bit about it. Give us a sneak peek.
Oh my gosh, so fascinating. It's about habit formation, because I realized that for a lot of people, one of their major happiness challenges was making or breaking an important habit. And I just started becoming fascinated. Like, why is it that one person can form a habit and one person can't, or one person could when they were in college, but they haven't been able to do it since? And so I wanted to understand, how do we really make and break habits?
So are you making and breaking your own habits?
Yeah, you got tons of habits.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And is this book making you better at changing the habits you want to change?
Well, I'll tell you what, working on Before and After showed me, I thought I was pretty average, and it turns out I'm really freaky. And my husband was like, I could have told you were really freaky. I was like, I didn't know that. Now I realize that when it comes to habits, I'm at an extreme. But so now I understand other people much better. I assumed everybody was like me. Turns out there's a much bigger range of people than I thought.
Yeah, Gretchen, thank you so much.
I'm excited for that. Thank you so much.
These are good books, and they really do help you focus on what's going to make you happy in your life. Thank you so much. Pick up Happier at Home. You can also go to bettertv.com and click on the happiness link.